see you. Just getting this tension right at the beginning. This installation is a group of sculptures called Witness, and they're constructed of very, very heavy 32mm rope, and they stand in the exercise yard bearing witness to the hangings and the things that happened here.
What's significant about this space is it was the exercise yard for the historic prison. So men would have moved out from being enclosed and incarcerated into this very small area with these really, really tall walls. So even though we're outside, it's still a very imposing space to be in. So it was freedom for a moment, but it's also still part of the prison system. And Susie's piece, Witness, will be marching down the centre of the exercise yard, bearing witness, facing the gallows at the end of the exercise yard.
I was thinking very much of penal labour and of oakum picking, where prisoners had to pick apart old rope to get the tar off it, and the work that they had to do that was very difficult and often very pointless. And what we've had to do is develop a machine that will essentially knit the rope. It's based on the old technique of French knitting, which is something most of us have done as a child, where you have a bobbin with some nails in it and you loop cotton or wool over it. And that really is what we're doing. We've made a giant machine to do that, and it's very physical. And I knew that the work would be very, very difficult, but I didn't realise just how challenging this couple of weeks would be, because we've dealt with some extreme weather and the rope has behaved in ways we weren't expecting, and we've had to overcome those challenges and modify it as we've gone along. It has been almost the limits of our physical endurance, but I'm sure that's nothing compared to what the poor souls here have had to go through in the past. But that really feels like it's very appropriate for the work and the site.
Written within the brick is evidence of the people that would have moved through this space. So there are tiny, tiny marks, little tally marks. There are, I suppose, modern day tags, people's names, people's dates, and small messages that were left by the men that were in this space as evidence that they existed, to make themselves heard, to prove that they existed. There's something very subtle about the shift in how the yard feels, even as the early stages of the rope is emerging.
They're resilient and powerful and solid, but they're also vulnerable, and you can see that they're all gradually sagging through time, and they'll continue to change shape through the seasons and settle into themselves in a very human way. They're almost like entities. They're extras in the crowd. You might think of them as the relatives or the people who are about to be hung. They're bearing witness to the justice and the injustice of what's gone on here.
There's something very important about the historic and the concept being relevant to people's lives today. What is happening now in the world? What's happening now within criminal justice? So there's something about encountering the structures and spending some time with Witness that we hope will resonate with people and stay with them when they leave the building.
I hope that people will get a sense of humanity from this place, because there's many layers and ways of looking at this history and remembering how these things happened. And I'm hoping that these sculptures will feel very human.